Oh yeah, what's up, fight fans? We are back at it with another edition here at Round One Sports TV. I'm always your host, Edwin. Where do all fights start? Round one. So we got our trolling cap on today, as you can see in the thumbnail. Well, they said they had jokes. They were trolling on me. One good troll deserves another, right? Am I right, fight fans? You be the judge. So tune in here, lock in, subscribe to the channel, become a Round One Sports Talk member. And like always, let's hop right into this episode, gentlemen. What it do, fight fans? What's up? Frontline in the building, up and at 'em early. You want to be in the building. Let's go. Frontline, always my co-host. It is always a pleasure. Let me get this down right here so that we can at least get your banner up there and popping. What it do, Frontline? So, Frontline, listen. Uh, I guess as you heard, what I'm saying? There's allegedly a little trolling going around, and not to take it so personal. And I read a lot of the chats, and thank you to all the people that supported me on this one, that saw my angle, my side of how, things took a turn. I don't know where did I go wrong? Where did I get lost? Maybe too much lost in the act of always being round one. My ultra ego. He's kind of like this guy that smiles and everything. And I guess they take that the wrong way. Who knows, right? But, Coach Bermudez had a lot to say about me, and I found it funny, In fact, he didn't give me the luxury of being on the panel and talking it out with him. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to show him the same respect, and we're going to invite him up here on the show too as we break everything down. And we're going to ask him some questions. And if you have some questions in the chat, you can feel free. Here he is, right? Coach, don't sneak up on me like that. You know what I'm saying? Yo, you got a lot to say, Coach. You know what I'm saying? Yo, you're looking real good down there. You know what I'm saying? Looking like a real Oompa Loompa. Yo, listen. Yo, where we go wrong, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Listen, Coach, my man. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to share with you a video I have made about you. So when you go to Round One Sports Talk, you can look in my archives, right? And you can see what I said about him, because I want to share with you guys what this is all about, of course. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to play the videos, and we're going to see what happened and what's trolling and what's not trolling, and what's like, hold up, you taking shots, right? So, that's, some people say to me, yo, E, lighten up. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, I'm on the other side, like, hold up, homeboy. We as men, we have to learn how to identify shit. You can't take street shit and bring it into a platform, a content creator. That would be like the equivalent of me being on the block as a young man doing street shit, right? And then seeing a lady standing on the corner and ice grilling her before I commit a crime, thinking that just because I ice grilled her, she needs to keep her mouth closed, and holding that lady and the standards of myself as a little criminal. That's a civilian. If she told on me, you can't call her a snitch. She's not, you don't play by the same set of rules. You can't put your rules on her. You understand? It would be like a person coming out today saying, I want to live for an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. That sounds cool. It sounds cool coming out of somebody's mouth. But if you want to live that way, then you would have to live in the Old Testament. After you got an eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, sacrifice your firstborn. You got to shed blood. and it's got to be pure blood. Can't be, you can't get no stranger off the street and go boom. It doesn't work that way. You can't have things both ways. And that's where I thought that the error was made. You were using hood shit to just to call me out on something that in my profession I have to network.
Yeah, but Edwin, why you always trying to steal the plug for?
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to take something, right? So he came out and used that as an example. Now, if you as a coach, as a leader, if you can't identify regular basic shit like that, like what are you setting for an example for your team? You know what I'm saying? I start to question, like, if you don't know how to separate shit like that, well then these YouTube shit is different. Like, look, for instance, we're not in a boxing gym. If I was to ask the coach right now, hey yo, coach, what's an overlay? I was just, what are analytics? What are monitors? See, he don't know nothing about YouTube. You don't know nothing about this shit. I don't go to your job and tell you how to do your job. I don't go to your gym and say, yo, coach, tell him to dip right here. He's dipping his shoulder. I'm not telling you what to do. So how are you coming up on a platform and shitting on my craft for basically no reason? Am I taking it personal? Let's find out. First, let's check out the video that I did months ago on the coach. Everything I've ever said about the coach, see, I don't know where this came from, because if you look up all my videos, but what I said about the man, this is what I had to say about the man. And my video is only 1 minute long. Check it out. Check it out.
While you pull that up, yo, shout out to the chat. Black in the building. Naldo's in the building. Rico from Naptown in the building. He says, God bless my boy. Hope all is well with you and the family.
Absolutely.
Jason says, what's up, round one? Naldo's asking, is that the Grinch?
Nah, that's the Loompa Loompa. You know what I mean? I got jokes. I got jokes. Check it out. Check it out. This is me talking about Coach Hector Bermudez and what I think about him and what he's doing with his fighters down there in Springfield. This is me. This is my video.
Coach Bermudez, if you was to take a tube of his
Come on, dog. Don't.
blood out of his body, it would spell the word boxing. The man has an old fire station built in there where he has the fighters actually living in the gym. He preaches, talks boxing. Unfortunately, sometimes you go on a losing streak. So didn't Terrence Crawford, Bomac, and them go on a bit of a losing streak. He went through a very bad situation with Keyshawn Davis and so forth. So as a coach, you're going to have these times. The thing about Coach Bermudez, I can guarantee you one thing. Tomorrow, he's going to turn on the lights in the gym and go back to work. And that's all he gives a fuck about. I hope his guys win. But Coach Bermudez, from me to you, brother, you're a great coach. Thank you for every day you wake up. Men like you that wake up and bring and make world champions. And
Okay, that's what I had to say about the coach. That's what round one said about the coach. Now, in comparison, this is what the coach had to say about me. And there's no video in between. Like, oh, you must know. There's no, I haven't had, we haven't been on that thing where like, I've interviewed his fighters or anything like that. So hold up, I gotta replace this one with okay, boom, right here. All right, so let me fill you in a little bit about what's about to occur. It's, this video is pretty long. I really wanted to play everything because it really paints the picture, because you're not going to understand why he says what he says unless you see what I said in the video to judge it, right? Wouldn't that be right? So I'm not sure. So what happened was, basically in a nutshell, me and Johnny are on the video. Let's rewind everything. Let's go through the course of events. Okay. So me and Johnny on a video. He starts his show. I get on. I start goofing around with Johnny here in the video. We're just talking regular boxing shit. Look, watch. Kids get out of there. The game task force is outside snapping pictures at all the kids coming out. Then we soon realized that this one thing that they try to say was good for the city and for the inner, they was using it. We were talking for a different purpose. So we're having a conversation, me and him. We're going. Then at some point, right? Check this out. Look, this is important. No, notice this. Check this out. Watch this. We're on the show. He told me before I got on that he was going to have a guest from the zone come on, but that he didn't show up yet. The guy apparently comes, and Johnny asks me, look,
with the 2-piece, I appreciate you, champ. We got to get you back on the show as well. He said, speaking big facts with the salute. Salute to you, Gallo. Appreciate you. Thanks for watching and supporting, man. Round one, though, I gotta interrupt and just stand by because I got a guest that I got to bring on.
Absolutely. Do you think?
Yeah. So without further ado, I want to bring in my guy, the head of content for DAZN. My man Mike Leone is in the building.
Okay. Now, he invited me to stay on the show, right? He could have told me, Edwin, okay, I got to cut our interview short. I have a guest on. I want to talk to him by ourselves. So me, him, Johnny, Mike Leone, just to make things not so long, right? We started talking. And in the conversation, what Mike does for a job is he's going to try to fill in the gap in between fights and fighters and their names so they're not out of sight, out of mind. Kind of like the HBO series used to do on the fighters, but while the fighters are not currently fighting. That way, the world doesn't forget about the fighters during those periods. That's his job. Now, during the conversation, he tells me, Mike tells me, you got to learn how to speak up for yourself. You got to be self-promoted. You got to go and ask questions and everything. Now, on a show, on a podcast, I do my monologuing first. So when I let my host on, I know I'm going to let them talk. It kind of is going to be my hostess show, the people that I get on, because that's the point in the show where I let the people talk. The people that you invite onto the show. Meanwhile, we're talking, me and Jimmy and Mike. Now, Mike's job is Johnny guy had him to come on to ask the audience and different people questions. Him and Johnny talk all the time. So here was Mike's opportunity to interact with the people. Not Johnny. He wasn't doing an interview with Johnny. And as you can see, after the video finishes, when people say, oh, round one took over the show, when Johnny and him were left alone, any part of the interview he could have had, there was your time. But as you can see at the end of the interview, the guy wanted to talk to everybody else but Johnny. Because this was his job. He needed to hear the people's opinions. He has to gather information. That's what Mike Leone is doing.
Well, like you said, though, Johnny and him talk behind the scenes all the time.
So when he brings him on the show, it's an opportunity for Mike to connect to new platforms, to get the zone and the zone package deal and whatever he can do to fix things. What do the people like to talk about? What do they want? That was the interview. You understand? So like, I'm hip. I'm listening to the dude. I'm catching on to what he's saying, right? So I end up asking the dude like, yo, you know, in the interview, the guy, I was telling him about something about Xander. I was saying, yo, I just want you, when you tell Xander's story, to make sure you bring the richness of boxing in Puerto Rico. And he goes, hey, if you haven't noticed, I'm Boricua. And I was like, oh shit, you are? And then right there, I was like, oh shit, I never met another Boricua like that high in the game. So I'm on a panel with a Boricua already in Johnny. So Dominican coach Hector Bermudez comes out of left field, right? Now, I want you to pick up on the vibes. I want you to pick up on the vibes on the show. Check it out. Look at the vibes. So him and Johnny, as you can see here, look, they're on after I get off, because he kept telling me my mic was hot. It was real loud. It was on the settings, and I didn't want to fuck up anything. So, yo, Johnny, thanks. I left. So the interview that anybody's saying that he could have had, he had it here. At this point, look, anything he had to say, and all Mike, you can go back and watch it. He wanted to interact with the people. He wanted their suggestions. He wanted the chat to ask some questions. Is there anything else the chat needs to ask me? It wasn't an interview with Johnny. We were supposed to talk. Right? Okay. Then after he leaves, right? They talk. Another guy came on and left. They're still going on. Then this is where coach comes in. Here we are. All right, can y'all
finish? We got more
I can hear this.
than 100 likes, but we're nowhere near finished. Let's get to 150 today. Let's get to 150. Rachel was on the panel as well. Let me see. Hold on. Let me get that. Yeah, I switched out the link, obviously, so that we can throw the DAZN link. Again, it is free to get an account on DAZN.
Let Johnny get his shout out here
if you
too.
want a subscription, obviously, that you'll have to pay for in the pay-per-views. But please use the DHS link, man. We're trying to build something here. So I'm going to put that out in the chat, and then I'm going to put the link to call in. And we have people that wanted to call in earlier, man, but we can't fuck up the flow.
Come on, man.
We had some good shit going on here. Let me put the link back up here so that we can get some boxing takes.
While that shit plays out, let me catch up with the chat.
It's Friday Eve.
It's me, Rocklee says, round one, you're an idiot.
We got Coach Bermudez. What's good,
says,
Coach?
Johnny is boring. He don't know how to do interviews.
Listen,
All right,
first of
go
all,
ahead. No, go ahead. Play it out.
All right. Now, mind you, let's pick off where we left off. Pick up on the vibes, right? Coach comes on. Johnny has no idea what the coach is about to say. Okay? So pick up on the vibe. Look.
Well, I appreciate you, Johnny, for having me on.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you jumping on.
See, I had to wait for the whole building to clear out first before I could.
This was good content, man. This was good content. I couldn't cloud the panel.
This was good content. Johnny himself, before anything is said, he says, this is good content. That the show was going good. According to Johnny, okay, this is where shit went left. Check it out.
Man, can I talk? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
My introduction. You let round one talk all motherfucking day. Now I can't get.
He was on here, man. He was on here before Mike. I ain't want to diss him, man.
I can't jump on the motherfucking channel or on the panel with guests on, but round one, him and his stupid ass Zuffa belt come on here. Hey,
I ain't want to diss him, man.
A lot of people ain't gonna understand this, right? But something crazy happened today, right? This show been awesome today. You got the great one, Brian Norman Jr. He's awesome, great personality. And then round one comes on, and it's like, damn, I don't know. People, there's something happened, right? There's something happened where it's like you introduce somebody to the connect, and then they try to steal the connect.
Well, that's called glazing.
He tried to promote. He tried to tell. I gotta, motherfucker, you ain't all here. He's in total violation. He got that. He got that energy. He got that. I ain't bringing you around ever again energy. Like you ain't never gonna come back.
He never really jumps on here. So the fact that he jumped on, I had him jump on before Mike, and you know me. Maybe sometimes I'm too nice. Next time though, I got to clear the panel because I do want to get Mike to get his own platform because what.
All right, check this out. He goes on to say a little bit more, whatever, right? So check this out. First of all, coach, right? Did you forget where you were at? You're on a YouTube content creator platform that the guy himself that came on to network, to meet other connection, to bring more viewers to the zone. That's his job. You do realize that. That the guy himself.
The other key point, though, Edwin, is
Yeah.
I know we was talking behind the scenes, but there's a lot of people that don't watch Johnny's channel or don't know of Johnny's channel. They don't know about the hangout spot.
Yeah, he's a little flat, but
No, I'm just saying there's people that don't know or that don't watch. For an example, I watch him every now and then. The problem with it is that he be on too late for me. You know what I'm saying? So I'll catch the beginning part of it and I zone out. Other platforms, TBV. You and I'm not going to get into it here because it's not my place, but I don't watch TBV at all. You can't pay me to watch that channel. You know why? We're not going to get into that. Anyways, long
thank
story
you.
short, the long story short is if you can get people on your platform that don't watch Johnny or don't know about Johnny or don't know about other channels for whatever reason, you're offering that platform for him to jump on.
Yeah,
Now,
exactly.
all that being said, you got to understand, and I'm not trying to play devil's advocate here but Coach Bermudez is somewhat of a troll. He likes to fuck around. So that being said,
Yeah, that
was
ain't
he
trolling.
fucking around or was he serious? Now, my thing is, if he was serious,
No, I don't think he was serious. I don't think he was serious in that regards. Like where you're going to. Let me interrupt you. Right, check this out. Right, I think he trolls, and I think he was taking a shot at me at the same time. But it's not cool when you take a shot at one's credibility. You know what I do here at Round One Sports Talk is bring you boxing content. Right. Okay. It's not a measuring stick of whether I know more or less about boxing with Coach Bermudez because he's a fucking world class coach. You understand? He knows that's his field. I know my place. But when you come on YouTube, right, and you start spewing this shit about, first of all, he admitted he waited until I got off to come on. I wasn't there to defend myself. If I was still on the panel and he came and said, "Yo, round one, you full of shit," or this, that, we would have we would have talked, right? And I would be like, "Oh shit, coach, blah, blah, blah." Okay. So maybe he felt some way about the Sufa belt and he got plans for Sufa. I don't know because I took shots at them. But he came out. Not only did he do that, right? Us as Latino, he's Dominican, Johnny's Puerto Rican. Listen, sometimes there's very few of us. And when that dude mentioned he was Puerto Rican, you know what I'm saying? We could have talked behind the scene. Johnny could have hooked up with me and be like, "Yo, Ed, if I felt some kind of way." Like, Johnny, I'm not trying to take your fucking the zone plug. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to talk to this dude about people like big dudes, people behind the scene, the names of those guys. It's good to know them. It's good to know who's the players in the game. Shit like that. I'm always interested in that. because I just got a different approach about the business, and I'm making my character. But the other thing is that, don't be so cowardly. If you had something to say about a dude, go up there and say it to him. You know what I'm saying? I'm showing like the same kind of trolling they showed me. That's what they told me. After everything was said and done, they said, yo, Ed, don't pay attention to the coach. He's just trolling. I said, well, then, okay, then I'll troll a little bit back, and that'll be the end of it. I'll never make another video, say anything else about it. I'll do a little trolling myself. But I felt like what you did, homeboy, wasn't troll. You try to say like I was an NG or no good. You can't bring him around type one of them dudes, because they already put a label on me from the TBV that I'll be going on the show and be like trying to take over the show, right? And they don't understand that when the host of the show brings on people on the show, Ness lets two-tone talk. Ness lets Star talk. Ness lets me talk. It's because Ness has already been talking for like an hour. He needs some new flavor for people to talk. That's what makes the show. If we were there just to be yes men and just raise our hand to talk, that would be a robotic show. Know the concept of a YouTube and the styles that these shows put out. We're not that type of panel where you got 10 screens and everybody's yelling at the same time. That's not these kind of shows. And they got the confusion of merging all these situations, and they think they said something. Coach is like, oh, don't bring them around the plug. What am I taking? If the zone actually came out to all small-time YouTube content creators and offered them a deal, they would monopolize the boxing YouTube streets. It's pretty much what the zone's going to do anyway, or try to do. All the top YouTube boxing channels. So bringing more to them would actually be good. What is Coach Bermudez talking about? Singleizing. And then he says, bro, Coach Bermudez comes on to tell Johnny about his own show. You let him talk. What the fuck is it your concern if he let me talk? That speaks to Coach Bermudez where he lost his mind. He doesn't even hear himself. He comes on, yo, you let round one talk for all this time, blah, blah, blah. What does that say? You're telling the man how to host his show? Then you told him to hush. Then you went and told the other guests to hush up too. I think he thinks it's his show. I think that he thinks that's the reason why Johnny gets views. And then he alluded in the video, I'll let it play if you want, or you can go back and watch it, that I went up there to steal viewers and likes on Johnny's hangout spot.
Nah, this is what we're doing, Edwin. This is what we're doing. Since we all Puerto Rican here, I want y'all to go watch the video and show Johnny some love. That's how we do around here.
Yeah, listen. Look, at the end of the day, I'll get my little rant out the way. And like, you guys can go watch the video for yourself. And why I took it a little like, damn, disrespectful. But this is about man-to-man shit. I don't want no one to be confused. As a coach, and the boxers that Coach Bermudez trains, as that stands, he's a great coach. His boxers are good, and I wish them all luck. Believe me, I'm going to be watching and pay attention to the win-loss ratio to close out this year for Springfield's Firehouse. Because now, hey, right? So let's see how they do. As far as a coach, I got nothing to say about the man. That's not what's at question here. That guy's a hell of a fucking coach. And all the things he does, you guys saw my video. I'm still not going to be spiteful. I'm still not going to be that petty to try to feed you something like this dude is some type of bum or something. No, my pettiness only goes so far. And as of right now, I'm going to take that down off the screen, right? And I'm like done with it. I'm just like that. I'm just like done with it. Right? What he does in boxing, his boxers, they got some big fights lined up, and I wish them all luck. I'm not as petty as like, no, I wouldn't. I'm not. No, that's not me. That's not my style. I try to be as transparent as possible. And I try to be like, not let things go too far in my head. What I feel about this whole situation, fine. You took a shot. I had my fun. We good. We good. We good. I don't want to paint that message, and that shit gets messy like that. But homeboy coach, as being a real dude, I consider myself. I've always hold myself to, like, I always thought I was a pretty decent individual. To call me a shitbag or something like that, or an NG or no good, or you can't like, and try to put labels like that, brother. No, nah, brother, nah, This dude, I could walk anywhere in the streets and I'm good. I'm good money anywhere I go. I've always been good money, and I'll always be good money. I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. Don't ever put me in a category with weak motherfuckers, bro. Nah, and that's me talking. I'll snap back into round one and be cheerful and whatever, and that's my ultra ego. But don't get it fucked up. Nah. I've always done right, for the most part in my life. Even when I did wrong, I was doing right. Fuck that. You know what I mean? So, I ain't like that. I ain't like that. That's like me. Nah, I ain't gonna anyway. But
You good? You got it off your chest? Can I catch up with the chat?
yeah, go ahead, brother. I got it off my chest. I'm good.
All right. Aya says Johnny is born. He don't know how to do interviews. Manuel says Lord Child. It's me. Rock Lee says notice how Frontline doesn't come on your channel and takes over it. Frontline knows his role in this podcast. What you should have done on DHS,
What the fuck is DHS?
the hangout spot.
Where's the letters come in?
D
Oh,
H.
duh, it's not the T with
No,
T. I'm sitting here trying to put it. I'm like, T is the like yo.
it's duh. Johnny was hating on you. Aya says Johnny was hating on you from the beginning when you got on TBV.
Yeah, he was.
Manuel says round one, just move on, bro. It's not that deep. Laugh my ass off. Y'all messy. Aya says they like drama. Not everyone is like you. Round one. Oh, Cincy in the building. Salute round one in front line. My guys in that gym getting it in and tuned in. Happy pre 420
All
and
right,
happy
right.
Sunday.
Salute.
Aya says it be your own people. Low nose boxing. I don't know if that's a jab at low nose, but well, fuck low nose. Any he don't know shit. Cesar says, "What up, round one in front line? Damn, they did you dirty, or what happened?" Big Deal TV's in the building. Says, "What's up, chat?" Yeah, he's responding to Manuel. You wanted Two Tone to play it. Why not round one defend himself? Cesar says, "Damn." Jay Gonzalez says, "Pod Wars, LOL. Let him know round one." That one dude, Chimosa. Manuel says, "Hey, yeah, round one already made a diss video. How he's still on the subject? Why not talk about the bomb and Ben Whitaker?" Well, we're gonna get to that.
Well. They made a video on me. You know what I'm saying? So like, they had like an hour. My diss video was nowhere near that. Come on, man. We had to make a remix. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, yeah, responded to man and said, "Yes, he did. Everyone's seen his video on Two Tone Podcast. Round one has the right to tell his side. Jab that like button. Coach T need to get back in the gym, bro. Got too much time on his hands.
Too
That's
much.
Manny responds to, "Hey, yeah, for sure, he can do whatever he wants. Coach Bermudez is an idiot," says Naldo. Ella says, Cesar, facts. He kept clowning on round one for over 8 minutes. Ryan says, round one, you overthinking this, bro. Don't pay that shit no attention. Laugh my ass off. Go ahead, vent round one. Let them know how you really feel, says Manny. I feel you round one, what you saying, but coach was just talking, says Ryan. Cesar says, so they was
Stop.
upset you outshined Johnny on his own show or
Yeah,
what?
that's what it
Question.
is. It's like a rapper coming on a rapper's tape, CD or whatever, and the rapper cooking the dude.
And his bars are harder than
Yeah,
the
yeah,
other.
that's what happened. Basically,
But
what happened in a nutshell. And to Ryan, that keeps saying that this wasn't nothing. You got to understand, this wasn't somebody that randomly comes on from his house that says something about me. That shit I would have let go. This is a world class coach. He has actual people that hang on his every word. You guys do realize that, right? He tried to use his coaching status to diminish me as a content creator. Like I said, I don't go to his gym and tell the coach, hey, coach, you should tell him to jab like this. Do I do that? Did I go to the coach and say anything wrong? If he didn't
well,
like my interview, he didn't have to respond to it. Who is he that he gets to judge me? I don't judge you. Would you like him judging you at work?
well, let me just get this out of the way. I'm just someone says I think Bermudez thinks he's funny, always cracking jokes about people. Maybe you got a little sensitive. You guys troll too. Well, here's the thing. If you listen to the beginning part of it,
I got
I told
sensitive
Edwin.
because he's telling the I got sensitive because he's telling the world not to bring me around people in my profession. Really? That's what the message you're sending. But I got sensitive over that. That he's telling other people not to fuck with me.
Now, but here's what's crazy though. The
Yo,
same people that are
when do
saying
you
that you're
guys
taking it too far.
when
Hold
do
on,
you
Ed. Hold
guys
on, hold on.
wait. When do you guys speak up for yourself? Where do you they make these kind of people? Where I was from, my father always told me, if you have something to say, don't wait 3 days, 4 days. Say it right there in the moment.
Address it right then and there.
Don't address it right away. Don't wait a month. If you got something to say to somebody, say it to them. That's where I'm from. I don't know where they make you kind of people where you're like, oh, allow people to discredit you at your job. Have another guy come up and make a commercial and say, this guy over here working, well, he works like shit. And I wouldn't bring him around any of you guys because of the fact that he's a no good. So you just you laugh along with that. That's what you do. Oh no, he's just trolling. That's what you do?
But here's my thing. These are the same people that are acknowledging that two tone, I guess. I don't watch that fat motherfucker either, but
Chill
uh,
out, chill out. Two Tone's my man. He's on my side right now.
no,
He's
no,
on.
no. I get it. I
I
still
rock
don't
with him.
watch him though.
Yup.
But
But you see what I just did? If Two Tone is not here to defend himself, I won't let you talk about him. No
no,
matter
no, I
how
get
we
it.
feel. But you think Johnny showed me that same kind of respect as a host to his own show? He should have controlled his show. He should have told yo, coach, I love you and everything, but round one hopped off. If you had something to say, hey, once he caught on to where he was going with it, you're
But
the
here's my
host of
thing.
the show. He allowed that to happen.
They saying in the chat that Two Tone made a video about it, right?
Did
But it's
he?
okay for two. I guess that's what they saying in the
But
chat. But
I tend to believe I haven't seen it, but I think Two Tone rock with me. I want to keep my. Sometimes he's iffy, but I think me and Two Tone we've been cool lately. Like I'm gonna go back and watch it now that you said that, and I hope I'm not wrong, right?
but
But
but my thing is that it's okay for Two Tone to grab the clip and make a video on it, but you do it. All of a sudden, you're sensitive. You get now.
right,
I get it. I get it. These people they like the laughs. They like the drama. They like the novela. I get it. But if you responded to something that happened to you, let it be. Let you vent. Let you rock out. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it.
Nah, where did I take it personal? I never took this shit personal. I even said in my video, if you go back and watch my 8 video, I was like, I'll let the fans in Springfield deal with it. Because when Coach says that about me, I felt like I'll lose some fans and some subscribers from Springfield. And I was like, yo, I got family out there. As long as they subscribe to my channel, fuck it. Because the coach talks like that about you. And people were like, yo, who's this dude? I'm never going to go to him because he's got followers. That's the fucking coach. You got to understand that. And I was like, yo, look, I'll just let the fans in Springfield because he's from Springfield. So I figured like the worst I was going to get from fans would be from Springfield. So I said, look, just let them deal with it. If they like me, they like me. If they don't, they don't. I can't make everybody like me. But that was fucked up. And I was like, damn, bro, I actually lived in Springfield. You gonna get all these people to be like, yo, Round One's full of shit type shit. We can't bring him around nowhere. You know what I mean?
You know what it is too, Edwin? That you give people a platform to talk their shit. We got shit. We got a handful of dudes that we rock with, like Gallo, fucking Low Key, Towers. There's the Mexican brothers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yo, we go at each other. Hey, by the way, Mexico down bad. I gotta get it out there.
You gotta
I
bring
got
that up.
I gotta get it out there. Mexico down bad. But anyways,
Yo,
but listen, yo, we talk shit to each other all the time.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You give people a platform to pop their shit, whether you agree with it or not. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And they even can hop up on the panel if they feel certain type of way and they want to talk
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. And I try.
And it's all free money. You don't have to pay to get your shit
Right.
read. Yeah,
Right.
I try to keep up with the chat every now and then. I gotta cut Edwin off and shit to read the chat. But besides that, I try to get to everybody's comments. That way that Edwin could respond to it. Sometimes y'all might have a question and shit. Um, but you don't get blocked here. You
Yeah.
don't get kicked.
Nah,
Yo,
nah.
the only
I
way you
try to
get
give.
blocked or kicked off this show or
Yep.
the channel or whatever is if you start disrespecting people's mothers, their family, their kids, shit like that. Now, we don't do no political shit like that here.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna talk shit to one another, talk shit, keep it shit talk 1-on-1. The minute you start mentioning mothers, kids, and shit like that, you gotta go. Like, we don't play that shit here.
Yeah. It's like some of these dudes take shots at you and then they want to clown you and make you feel a certain kind of way for taking a shot back or standing up for yourself. The bully and these guys, they're gonna try to flip it and say that you were being emotional to avoid all the shit talking they talked about you. Like they have the right to put you down. Don't ever let anyone do that to you. And this is just much bigger than just me. And sometimes I like to talk about situations in life. And I'm going to tell you right now, don't ever allow someone to make you feel less than where you don't speak up. Fuck that.
Hey, yo,
If
Mick ain't shit.
what he say? What Mick say? You
He
should
said you
get
should get
blocked if
blocked if you
you
have the super belt.
have the super belt.
Yo, I'm just someone says everyone talks shit, everyone trolls. Super belt hubcap question. Yo, show him the belt. Show him
No,
the.
listen. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm just a guy. He's got the first title fight against Stock Chasers. Stock Chasers told me, yo, if there's a hubcap involved, he's on it. You know what I'm saying? He wants the title shot. It's gonna be in a supermarket parking lot of our choice. The location has not been determined. Somewhere in a parking lot in America, Campbell's will be hosting the event. Let's get the belt. It's over here. Hold on. Front line, keep it going.
Yo, Ryan says, bro, y'all let Tone get to you, you'll be fucked up. Tone is the king of trolls. Um, who else? Twan the man says, as a man, I was taught to tolerate no disrespect. Facts. Ella said, Bullies
There
don't
is the
like when
bell.
it comes
Look,
back. Yeah.
yo, Frontline, hold on. Let me put my earpiece. I can't hear you. Frontline, you know we got sponsorships, right?
Yeah,
You,
Campbell soup,
Campbell Soup, Bumblebee
tuna.
tuna can. You know what I'm saying? And we fight tomato cans around here. You know what I'm saying? Because anybody can get it. You know what I'm saying? For the Super Belt, this is a real hubcap. You know what I'm saying? It's the real deal. All right. And the belt is made of cartón. All right, real cardboard champion around here. You know what I mean? You know, when I walk in the building, I got that cardboard belt on deck. It's so cardboard, it don't even bend. Yo, we gotta find a spot for it. Oh shit, it's upside down. Hold up. Yo, yo, the Super Belt spins, you know what I mean? Well, it used to spin. It's now a little stuck. You know what I mean?
Hey yo, oh man, this
Yo,
is too funny.
I got my own Super Belt, baby. What? The motherfucker said, we're not gonna
Gallo,
honor your belts.
I got Toro. I got Toro. He wants to know who you got. Toro versus Munguia. Resendez versus Munguia. I
Look,
gotta rock with Resendez. Resendez
I
showed
have
more
to,
heart.
man, listen. Well, okay, look. Mongia has shown times where he falls asleep behind the wheel. He relaxes in certain situations and he stays in the pocket a little too much and narrowing his work, like admiring his work. That's what got him caught against Brock there. So look, I Resendi's last performance against Caleb Plant was shocking to me. I got to admit, I didn't think he was going to whoop Caleb Plant. I didn't even think he was going to beat Caleb Plant. How about that? I thought Caleb Plant was going to fight him. It was going to be a little back and forth, but that Caleb would show his veteranness in the game. It would show up later in the fight with Resendiz, and I thought that Caleb would either edge it out in a unanimous decision or possibly stopping Resendiz late. I'm not sure if that's actually what I said, but that's what, you know, I looking back, that's what probably what I would have felt. The performance that Resendiz did was so dominant that Caleb Plant didn't have an answer for him. He was just, all I remember in that fight is Resendiz actually schooling Caleb Plant, being the aggressor, going forward, letting his hand fly. So when you think about Jaime Munguia's last performances, his last two,
You gotta go with Resendez if you go that route.
yeah, man, I gotta respect Resendiz's
Relentlessness.
yeah, no, and then his elevation, his the way he's evolving as a fighter. And especially if he comes out and starts fighting like a champion, you know what a world title can do for you. Look at the moment like fighters like Espinoza got his belt once he beat Robesi, right? He started fighting like a fucking champion. He started believing in himself. One fight can do that to you. So I gotta go with Resendiz. I'm sorry, Caleb Plant. I love you, man. Yeah, I mean, not Caleb Plant. I'm sorry. I mean, Jaime Munguia. I love you, Jaime Munguia, and everything. I wish you the best in the fight. Hey, prove me wrong, Jaime Munguia. Show me that you are also ready to make that next serious step, because you could see Jaime Munguia got all the skills. He's got all the skills. He's just got to put it together and execute his game plan without laggy gagging sometimes. He gets a little, and if he can correct that right there, this should be a hell of a fight. That should be a hell of a fight. And let me ask you a question, Frontline. For all the people that are saying this about David the Monster Benavidez, do you think he beat Zuldo?
Yeah, I think Benavidez beats Suldo, possibly by knockout.
Really? That's
Yeah.
what? Okay, hold up. Why is the world starting to think that Zuldo is like not this big? All right, like a big puncher. Listen,
No, it's not. It's not that. It's not that Benavidez is a big puncher at 75. Don't think that for 1 second. What I'm saying is the pressure and the volume of punches, they're gonna accumulate and add up.
You think that Benavidez can be himself at that weight and give that much volume of punches?
Yes.
You think
Yes.
so? Okay.
Yes, but I'm not counting Surdo out though.
Okay.
I'm not counting Surdo out, but I got Benavidez by stoppage.
Really? Okay. Now check
And
this
it'll be a
out.
late stoppage.
Check this out. A lot of these athletes, a lot of these boxers in the game that have been pushed to go up in weight in their career, Terrence Crawford, Shakur Stevenson, a lot of these guys have ventured up even late, Keyshawn Davis, jumping up weight divisions. And now, Jaron Boots Ennis versus young Xander Zayas. Okay. And everybody's starting to think that everybody can do this. That if this guy did it, he should be able to do it. And I disagree. Until I actually see you do it, then you proved your case. You proved your point. You understand? I'm not so convinced that every human in the world can make and look good in weight jumps. For case in point, did the Charlo twin look good against Saul Canelo Alvarez? When he did the same thing that Terrence did. In fact, if you were to stand Terrence Crawford and the Charlo twin side by side, the Charlo twin's bigger. If you would have thought about it, the Charlo twin should have been able to acclimate to Saul's weight way better than Terrence Crawford. He was the smaller guy. What Terrence did, the Charlo twin couldn't do. Not every human is the same. Just because this guy did it. So when the fans look at this fight, I have to warn them. I gotta let you, listen, acknowledge the weight jumps. Acknowledge it. I don't know what David the Monster better be, and that's why I'm so worried. That's actually a fight that I'm starting to look at, that if I was a better, a gambling man, I would tell the people to stay away from it. Just because, if you believe in your fighter, then hey, you're an adult. You make your own decisions. But it's just, for me, I'm trying not to get lost in the fact that, hey, Hamza jumped up to fight Edgar Berlanga. Look what Hamza did to Edgar Berlanga. One weight division. I'm not going to do that to myself. My boxing IQ has taught me different. And I know that sometimes it doesn't work out for them. Let me tell you something. You know who taught me that too? Very early. And I wasn't even around for this fight. I came to find out about it later. When William, what's his name? Help me out here, front line.
The Cuban?
No. Jesus Christ, I should be shot right now and dragged in the streets of Puerto Rico.
Who did he fight?
No, me. I should be he fought, oh my God, I'm just having a brain fart. This is incredible. He fought the Mexican legend that died in the car. The young dude, he was like 23. I'm just having a brain fart right now, real bad. Sanchez?
Wilfredo Sanchez?
No, Wilfredo Gomez is the guy that he fought.
Salvador Sanchez.
Wilfredo Gomez, right, had 100% boxing record. When he won his world title, he had 100% knockout ratio in all world title fights. When William moved up to fight Salvador Sanchez, he had 100% knockout ratio throughout his entire career in all 17 title fights. He only jumped up one weight division from 122 to 126. He jumped up one weight division. Just one. A man that had over 30 professional knockouts, 17 world title knockouts. He had 100% knockout ratio. A man like that jumps up one weight division, and after that fight, his mother didn't recognize him. He lost so bad.
Hey, Edwin, can I talk shit real quick?
So yeah, go ahead, brother. I don't know
All right.
about that weight jumping shit.
I'm gonna go back a little bit just to catch you up on ella asked, do Mexicans like Mexican on Mexican war? Gallo responds, hell yeah, Mexican on Mexican. We not like brothers that don't like to fight each other. Uh Ron Ultra says yes. But it gets interesting further up where Gallo, Gallo, he says brothers cry if they lose. Shakira and Floyd at the games crying. Edwin, can you remind me what happened in Tokyo recently?
Well, there was a lot of ass whooping going on, going on there. But first of all, Frontline, before we get there, let's start off small. Let's start off a little bit smaller, right? The women's boxing. What happened there?
Crystal Rosado versus Fernandra Reyes.
Damn, she used that girl as a punching bag. Did you see that fight?
That was Friday, of course.
Yo, she used her as a man. I was like, damn, Mexico, what's going on here?
And
Yo,
and the Mexican chick was
she looked like a construction worker.
yo,
Listen,
yo,
she was tough as fuck.
Reyes was undefeated too.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, but Reyes looked a bit more slower, but she was fucking durable as fuck, boy. I tell you, she took some shots, man.
And,
She kept
and that's the
going forward,
type
but
of
she was
wars that we like.
No, she got her ass whooped. Reyes got her ass whooped, and then
Yeah, she got her ass whooped, but there's a but. You got to throw the but in there.
okay,
The but is the fucking Mexican didn't back down for shit.
no, I said that she was tough as nails, bro. She was
Like
tough,
she kept
bro.
coming. Yo, she took the ass.
Yo, she was fucking tough. That kind of pressure sometimes like can drown fighters. So shout out to Reyes, man. She came there to fight. These older ladies, man. Shout out to the women, bro. Their fights are being more interesting and shit. Mexico took a loss there, but we suffered a loss too. Our Puerto Rican girl, Lopez there, right?
Belisa
Yeah,
Lopez.
yeah. Speak up. Why we lose, Frontline? It didn't seem like your mic was
I'm gonna
connected.
speak up, but that was Puerto Rico on Puerto Rico crime. So it's not. We took a
It
loss.
doesn't. Yeah. It kind of like exit out, like the Mexicans were trying to get the win. Nah, we get a win, Mexico on Mexico. Yo, suckers. So we can't take that because we get a win and a loss with that. But damn, even though she lost to another Puerto Rican fighter, let me be honest. What you think about this dude's sister, Juanita Lopez's sister's performance? Is she on that level? Are they pushing her too far? What is the problem?
Well, what I told you, you called me out on it, and I'm gonna say it publicly now, since that was behind the scenes. She needs to hang it up.
Come on, Frontline.
Yo,
You
she
can't
needs to
say
hang it
that
up.
about every fighter when they lose a fight or
No,
something.
no. This is different.
Look, okay, check this out.
And she just don't have her brother, Juanita,
And her father.
he's got it. Her dad, he had it. Her, it's not for her. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's not.
I check it out. Look, she just might not be on that level yet. But there's one thing I gotta give the young girl. She does have heart. She has the ability to stand in there and get punched and fight back. She didn't quit on herself. So you can work with a fighter like that. She might not be as skilled. You never know. This ass whooping might awaken her up, get her in the gym. Look, if you ask me, I'm gonna be honest. I think she lost both fights because this was a rematch. You know that, right?
Yep, the first one was a draw.
She got her ass whooped in the first one.
Yes.
She lost that fight and they gave her a draw. So they gave her a gift. So she relives the fight back and she
And got
shoots
her
it
ass
back with
whooped
her,
again.
and she got her ass whooped even
Yeah.
worse. So look, she just got to know not to give up on herself, but whatever you're doing except boxing, cut more of that out of your life if you want to get, because she has to understand she's carrying the family name into the ring.
And that's the problem right there.
She's carrying the family
She
name, so
can't carry it.
she has to be able. Yes, she can. She can carry it.
She
She's just
can't
young.
carry it. She
She's
can't
just
carry it.
young in her career, fun line. Like I don't
I
know.
mean,
Maybe you could be right. Maybe I could be right in this situation. I'm just maybe I'm getting soft in my old age or something.
and you know how I feel about my Puerto Rican fighters.
Yeah, I know.
I back them to the fucking fullest. Win, lose, or draw. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, look.
But Belisa's
I
one
used to
that
talk like that all the
she
time,
don't got it.
bro.
She don't got it.
In my
She
head,
don't got
like
it.
it was either win or nothing. But
You know who I backed even after the loss?
who?
Stephanie Pinheiro.
Okay.
Stephanie Pinheiro. She fucking went to war, and arguably we talked about this. You rewatched the fight and you said that the right person won. I felt different.
Yeah, because what happened in that fight with Pinheiro, man, I felt that what's the other girl's name again?
I forgot.
But anyway, if anybody could put it in the chat,
Daniels, maybe I think it was.
uh,
No. Danny Daniels is the one that beat fucking
right,
Felicia Green.
I forgot her name. I forgot her name. But
I'm gonna mute it real quick.
Pinheiro,
I'm gonna
when
go
she
check.
was getting hit in that fight, you can see the punch was visible. When the girl would stop and hit her, Pinheiro would take a step back, and then she would and that was bad for the image because she moved you with her punch. And then when Pinheiro was putting her punches together, that she was see.
It was
And
Price. That's her name,
look,
Price.
Price. Okay, when Pinheiro was hitting Price, Pinheiro was throwing good combinations. So as far as boxing goes, her technique looked good. And she was hitting her. But Price's shots were more effective. And the weird thing is, Price's face was wearing it. Yo, Price had blood all over. It looked like the reaction you should have been getting out of Price's punches should have been on Pinheiro's face, but it looked kind of like opposite because Pinheiro, her face, she's tough. She took a lot of big shots. She was wobbled in the fight, Pinheiro, more than once. I think in 2 rounds I seen her get staggered. So you could see that Price was connecting. And Price was blocking a lot of the shots, but there were rounds where I felt Pinheiro did a lot of great work. She won her share of the fight. Some of those fight cards that they announced was a little, but that was a good fight overall.
Hey, Gallo keeps bringing this up. I don't recall the fight. It probably wasn't aired on no major network, but Perez got his ass beat by Montoya in PA, Mexico versus Puerto Rico, and the boy was Rican.
Yeah,
What card was that on? Did we watch it?
I don't think so.
I don't recall. Ella wants to know what's bigger for Undisputed, Zayas versus Fundora or Boots versus Fundora?
Okay. That's a tricky situation because you would have to add a couple things into that conversation. Number one, you would have to add the star status and the popularity either fighter gaining traction coming into that fight. You understand? Now, for hypothetical, if Xander was to win, right? The reaction of the boxing world, the Puerto Ricans, would that catapult him to a bigger star status? Now you're talking going into the fight with Fundora. Of course, the Tower Inferno doing what he did to one-time Keith Thurman and making Tim Tszyu quit on the stool. Okay? Both former world champions that would add to the fight. Same scenario would apply to Jaron Boots Ennis. You can't say like right now and think which one would be the bigger fight. The fight would even be either bigger or maybe not that, depending the winner and how the fans embrace them. As of right now, the biggest fight would be Xander versus Sebastian. Why? Xander got 2 belts. He got 1. Jerron Butenis is standing out there twiddling his thumbs. So, of course, in that scenario, Xander would be the bigger fight.
Look,
But in
Gallo
the
says Botas in 8.
but in the other scenario, where that whichever one won, they're coming out of that fight a different star. You understand? Depending how big that star status gets, the unification will be that much bigger. At that point, I'm not sure which one would be the bigger fight. If it would be beneficial for Xander to win, or would it be beneficial for Jerron Butenis to win?
I think Aya's got a point. She says
What?
I think Mexican versus Puerto Rico will be bigger. I agree, but
That's always bigger.
here's the thing though.
Oh yeah, I forgot that element. Holy shit, my bag. Fuck, you add the rivalry between Mexico and Puerto. Get the hell out of here. A rivalry between Mexico and United States. That's a big one too, though, right? But there would be nothing better, bro, than Puerto Rico versus Mexico as far as us Latino fans go. Yeah, fuck that, bro.
Well, no, we fight's got a point there, and I'll elaborate on it. Although we think as Puerto Ricans that Mexico versus Puerto Rico, that's our own personal rivalry, but Mexican versus black historically has always been bigger, and it's because of Floyd. It's
Oh
because
no,
of
no, no, no,
Floyd.
no, no, not just only because of Floyd, dog.
No, no, no.
Floyd
But
rocked it. No, you're right. You're right. You're right. Floyd, yeah, kind of, but if we want to get technical, you could say Floyd's family started it. Remember, his uncle Roger was the Mexican assassin. He used to come out with the big Mexican hat. He used to make a mockery of it because he was the guy that knocked out a lot of Mexican fighters, Roger Mayweather. So it wasn't Floyd that kind of like you know there was already rich rivalries between Mexico, United States. Floyd was just more loud with it. But Floyd did something for Mexico, whether I never personally got to ask Floyd this. So at this point right here, this is round 1, just kind of spitballing. I'm not sure how he meant it, right? But when he came out with that attire, the Mexican shorts, they were leather, and he had the Mexican top, the Mexican gloves, and Floyd wore that white and red and green Mexican sombrero. And he came out. He took what his uncle Roger used as a mockery. Remember, Roger came in with the black Mexican hat, with the black Mexican, the poncho thing that went over. I hope I said that right? And he made it in black because he was the Grim Reaper of Mexican killers. So when Mayweather did that, on the day that they raised Mayweather's hand, although he was fighting a Mexican fighter in Oscar De La Hoya didn't represent the Mexican flag. Mayweather did. And when they raised Mayweather's hand, what did you see?
The Mexican won.
The Mexican won. Because that's Mexican trunks. All of a sudden, it became like a show of respect and tradition, and also to try to get Mexican followers to like you. The Mexican fan base is rich because they come from a place of fucking fighting. They've been around forever. So if you can tap into that, there has been no other country honored more, or that other fighters tried to get their fans to as well, than Mexico. There is no bigger. Everybody has put on Mexican trunks when they fight a Mexican. All the Americans do it now because they're trying to tap into the Mexican fan base. But do you see any Mexicans wearing American trunks? Do you see any Japanese guys wearing American trunks? The flags with the stars. Do you see any other country in the world wearing the other guy's flag?
Never.
The only country on this planet that gets that kind of respect, Mexico. They're the shit. And that rivalry between America is big. But ours, as far as Latins go, there's no better rivalry than Puerto Rico, Mexico. We the top dogs in the Latin boxing. There's no better rivalry than us. We've been going at each other for a long time, and I fucking love it. Those are the best kinds of fights, bro. That it divides us sometimes, but like I tap in real quick and like I appreciate the Mexican dude. They've broken my heart a lot of times. My guys have beat them and stuff, and it's just been crazy over the years. You know what I'm saying? But I love boxing. I learned later in life how to view competition, how to respect your rival, how to appreciate them. Because without you, there is no us. So thank you for showing up and making us work harder in the gym and pushing these fighters to bring the best out of these fighters so that we could see the best version of the sweet science. You know? So, man, listen, look, and by the way, if you're new here at the Round One Sports Talk, when we say these guys are down bad, it's all in humor. We take shots at each other all the time. We understand here. It's just a humorous way to get, to poke without having to be like the other channels. F you, disrespectful, this and that. Nah, we can talk our shit just like this.
By the way, shout out. I forgot his first name, but last name is Gallardo. He fought yesterday on Miguel Cotto Promotions in Puerto
Yep.
Rico. He's a Mexican fighter who left Mexico, moved to Puerto Rico, trains in Puerto Rico, fights
Oh,
out of
yeah.
Puerto Rico. Let me tell you something. That dude's gonna be a fucking somebody. His last name is Gallardo. I forgot his first name. But that dude is knocking motherfuckers out left
Yep.
and right. Shout out to
I
him.
gotta check him out. I gotta check him out. I wanna.
He fought yesterday. If you go to Miguel Cotto Promotions on YouTube,
Oh, it was on that card. We saw it.
yeah, but it was the very, very, very first fight.
We might have not saw it, right?
I saw it. It was a first round knockout. Body shot, nasty.
Did I see that with you? We watched it together on. Well, we were on the phones. We was watching it. We watched the whole card together. I thought we was. I don't remember missing a fight.
No, I think I called you after that to see.
Oh,
if
you
was,
might have. Yeah.
there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But anyways, you can go back. Everybody, yo,
I'm gonna check it out.
Miguel Cotto Promotions on YouTube. It was yesterday. It was the fight in I Bonito.
I don't have to worry about that Xander versus Fundora fight. Why?
Yeah, because Ryan thinks that Boots is gonna wash Zayas.
Oh, Ryan! Yo, listen, let me tell you. Let's talk about. Hold on. Is it catch up to the chat real quick, all the way, and then let's get to that.
I'll go back to Ryan says only people I see crying was Ryan and Teal. They don't look black to me. Laughing emoji. Gallo says you didn't say shit when Montoya. Okay, I read that part. I read Ella's. Low-key response to Ella says both are good. Hope it's Zayas versus Fundura. Gallo says Fundura stopped Zayas like Thurman. And then he replied, it was on the I guess the card name was Red Owl on the Zone last Friday. Y'all trying not to remember. I don't think so. Boots on the ground, round 8 says Gallo.
Yeah.
Low key says we up 1. Mexico Botas in 8.
Yo, yo. When did you start counting? When you got your first win, so you're up one.
Yeah, cause like
You forgot
Friday.
about all the other losses throughout the week. Let's not talk about that. Yo, round one. Why you bringing up the past? That's in the past, bro.
Hey,
We start
real quick,
counting from now.
but
Low key.
before we get into before we get into Ryan Zayas will be one fighting Fundura. I'm not worried.
I doubt Kelly is beating
I doubt Kelly is
Fundora.
being Fundura. Says, hey, yeah, all right, check it, yo, real quick, Edwin.
Hey,
Quick recap.
yep.
Friday, what you thought about the Shadisha Green and Lonnie Daniels fight?
Oh, an upset, brother. Upset. She fucked up the bag, homeboy. Shadesha Green. She was supposed to get the bag with that Clarissa Shield smoke. The stage was set. Look, Shadesha Green actually looked good in the fight. She looked like the bigger girl in the fight. She couldn't really sit down on her punches because the other girl was moving so damn much. She utilized her legs and her lateral movement to perfection. She broke Shadesha Green down. I can guarantee you, Shadesha prepared to go the distance. It wasn't that she was tired because she didn't train well. The other girl, accumulation of damage, took her gas tank. Those body shots, it drained her. Shadesha, she was in a tough place in that corner. I got to give you my honest assessment. You got to learn how to fight back tired. You got to learn how to be comfortable there. If she was strong enough to hold her hands up, she was strong enough to throw them back. She should have went out on her shield or made the girl stop her. To cower away in the high guard and just let the girl pound you 8 more punches, like pow, pow, you just sat there. The referee's yelling, do something, do something. You didn't respond. It showed that she checked out of the fight. You know, and it could have been of exhaustion. She was exhausted, but she needs to learn how to teach herself that that's okay. That's okay. It's okay to be that tired. Just keep fighting. Keep fighting. That's it. And I think she fumbled the bag, man. She let the fight get away from her. Yeah, that's it.
What about Baumgartner and the South Korean chick?
Shinder, okay, I went back and watched it again. Okay. On watching the fight the second time, it was a lot closer than I thought. I thought that Baumgartner, for the most part, Baumgartner was the better. She had the better form. She was mixing up her punches better. She didn't stand still and allow the Korean girl to get her shit off. The Korean girl really had to earn almost every punch against Baumgartner. Once Baumgartner started to slow down just that little bit, the fight got real interesting. I thought there was a lot of rounds the Korean girl won. I think there's a lot of rounds the Baumgartner won. The fact that they went 3-minute rounds, Alicia Baumgartner needs to understand she needs to go down to 2 rounds, 2-minute rounds. She'll be stronger. She'll be able to perform better. She's putting this big bar on top of her to try to save women's boxing that the other ladies are not asking to be saved. Shadesha Green fought 2-minute rounds. That was enough time for that other girl to get her out of there. You see? And Shadesha was fighting 2-minute rounds, and look how gassed she was. Not every girl can do this. I think that these girls are thinking that they're doing something for boxing, and they don't understand that women boxing needs to evolve. And in order to make it evolve it, make it hot and ready. Make it fast. Make it fast. Make these women attack each other fast. You're going to create, in the back of the mind of the female fighters, they don't have 3 minutes every round. They got to fight. It's going to make them engage more. The fights are going to be more intense. They're going to be better to watch. And all the girls are going to be able to compete at this level with 2 minutes. So as far as the fight goes, I think that Alicia Baumgartner won the fight. I think she won the fight. I think she did hit her with more shots. I think that the Korean shots, they were good. They were good. She even stunned Alicia Baumgartner in the fight. She stunned her and shit. The Korean girl had a little snap there. Baumgartner also wobbled her bad, stunned her, and then Alicia put her hand like on the back of her head and pushed her down. You know, it was like I kind of felt Alicia was feeling the pressure of the Korean girl, and she just wanted her to go away rather than, you know, pushing back, and she already had her hurt. I think when the referee interfered, it gave the Korean girl that much time to shake the cobwebs off, and she came back swinging. You know,
Well, when I talked to you about it, I told you I thought that fight was a draw. To be honest,
really a draw.
I thought that fight was a draw.
Mm.
But it goes back to that Price versus Pinheiro, where Baumgartner had the more quote unquote effective punches. They showed, they showed more wear, but scoring it, I scored it even.
I had it
That's
one round. One round. I think it was razor thin. I think Alicia Baumgartner won it by 1 round. I think it was razor thin. I respect your thing too. I can see where you see the draw. And like I said, this goes to like, like where how we see the fight front line. You see the fight like that. I see it. How the fuck were the judges viewing it? You know what I
Well,
mean?
that's
Like,
just it. That's there's 3 judges and they all get different views. They don't get the view that we get.
yeah, and then there's 3 judges, but there's 4 sides. Like whoever came up with that concept,
Well, the
there-
fourth side is where they collect the rest, like all the cards. They go to that side, and I guess there's one
there's
big
an
judge
official.
that
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
that, yeah, that adds
He's
it
the one
up.
with the badge on, right? He has like that little beaded necklace with the badge on. Okay, actually, the 4th judge is actually the referee. That's how boxing is. It's 3 judges and an official. He sits on this side. So there's 4 of them, right? But only 3 scoring the fight. The 4th judge is the ref. He's the one that alerts the other judges if that punch that cut your eye was a punch or a headbutt. Because blood is awarded. If I give you a bloody nose in a professional match, I drew blood out of you. That's awarded. If I hit you with a shot, and that's why it's the referee's job to go over and say, that was not a punch. It was an accidental headbutt. They don't give you credit for the cut. You understand? So,
Yeah,
and
but ain't the cards already turned in at that point?
no, no. This is the referee's job is to halt the action during a clash of heads, or if the action is just ongoing, the second that they go ding round over, the referee turns around in the ring and goes cut by a punch. He notified all 3 judges at one time. Then the judges get like 10 seconds, 10, 12 seconds. They fill in their thing. Then the referee goes around one by one, grabbing the scorecards from every judge. Then he goes over to official and he hands the scorecards to the official. They do this every round. In some countries, they leave the entire scorecard in front of the judge until the whole thing is over. In some countries, they collect it round by round. So you see,
In
that's
some
what.
countries, they announce the scorecard
Yeah,
over the.
you see, that's where I think the flaw in the system lies. They don't abide by the same set of rules everywhere. Las Vegas does it their certain way. California does it their certain way. New York does it their certain way. Japan does it their certain way. Russia does it their certain way. And I think that the officiating association, the referee association, where we get the referees and the judges, that's a separate entity. They're like a business that the belts, they call them. Hey, we need 3 refs, 4 judges, and 1 official. Then they make up a list and they send those guys out there. They tell them, hey, you're gonna be here, you're gonna be a referee here, you're gonna be a judge here, and they send them out. So I think that it should start from there. Whoever controls the referee and judge association, they should make a set of rules, a pamphlet, and pass it out to every fucking city and country. These are the rules and the standards we're going to obey by in boxing. There's only one set of rules. Here we go. Just like in football, basketball, baseball. If the Celtics go down and play the New York Knicks, it's the same rules that it is in the Boston Garden. Same rules. That's how we should be in boxing, and it's not like that. You know what I'm saying? Shit changes so slightly, but changes. You know, we need help. We need help. I thought this Sufa shit was gonna be a big help in boxing. I'm a little reserved on, and right now it's like it seems like a boxing war. What side are you on? I'm on the side with our belts, tradition. And when they take a shot at my belt, I took a little shot in humor, made fun of their belt then.
What you do with their belt? Let me see their belt. What you do
Nah,
with their
chill. Dana White came out and said, we're not acknowledging none of their belts. Like, who the fuck are you to say? If Dana White would have came out and said, okay, we're having our fighters fight for our Zuffa belt. We are not competing for the other world titles, but our fighters can compete for our world title, and that's what's important to us, our world title. That's cool. But that's not what you did. What Dana White did was came out, acknowledged you're going to compete for, their fighters can compete for the Super one, but we're not acknowledging the other major sanction. Oh, wait a minute. You're not strong enough or powerful enough to say you're not acknowledging them. In this scenario, they're not acknowledging you. They were here first. Zufa's talking like they were here first. And their belt is so prestigious that we don't want to acknowledge your bullshit belts because we got ours. And
But what it look like though?
And I'm saying to the people, snap out of it, guys. First of all, you were never considered a world title belt. That's a fucking hubcap. That's so.
What it look like?
Hold on, dog. Hold on. Listen. You always want to troll. Listen, but sometimes things got to be talked out, and shit's got to be established. There has to be a line in the sand. We never ever should be talking like that. Sufa belt is being talked about in the same sentences with the real world championships. These are real world championship belts. What they're trying to convince you is for you to keep referring the Sufa belt on the same level of these belts.
So compare them.
That's what they're doing.
You got all 5 belts. Compare them.
That's what they're doing. So they're coming out with their belt. Ta-da! Right? And they're saying that our belt is the cardboard belt. And I'm saying, no, it's not. Your belt is the cardboard belt. You want to shit on my belts? Well, we can play games. But I am also fair. And I am also a man that learns from a mistake or would be able to admit to a mistake or that he was wrong in something. I have the ability to grow. And I'm telling you, in 2 or 3 years, if Sufa's kicking off, putting great fights, and the fighters are still saying, yo, this is the shit, they start putting out good cards, signing good fighters, treating the fighters well, and I see that, I have no problem changing my tune. Because Careful what you ask for in life. We ask for change in boxing. And when something else comes out and change comes, we want to push back on change. Is that what I'm doing right now? Am I being too stubborn and I only want to stick with my old guys? Do I not want to evolve? So I
Well,
ask myself these questions because I'm honest with myself. So I said, yo, round one, chill. Maybe you might be right. Maybe you might be wrong, right? But let's be a little reserved. Let's be reserved and allow Zuffa as a boxing entity to show rather than to say it. You're telling me this is the next new thing. You're telling me that you're gonna help boxing. You're telling me that you're here as our savior. Okay, fine. Talk is cheap. You can say anything you want. Let's see what happens. So, in good humor, fun, I'm not telling you not to watch Sufa. In fact, I'm
shit, we
encouraging you.
watch it.
We watch it. We watch Sufa boxing around here, okay? This was just, a shot at their belt and
Fun and
jokes.
games.
Yeah, it's just fun and games. In no way or shape or form am I telling you not to watch those Sufa fights. If they put out these big fights and we're going to watch it, I want to see what their product is. I want to see what they're putting out. So,
Hey, Edwin, real quick, I want to talk about Sufa a little bit more because I want to get to that Berlanga interview with ProBox. But real quick, just a real quick thought.
yep,
Lanny Daniels, the one that beat Shadesha Green,
yep.
versus Clarissa Shields. How do you see it?
I actually think she might beat Clarissa Shields. The way she picked apart Shadesha Green, she has more boxing ability and she can take a punch. Cause Shadesha can crack. Shadesha Green hit her with some good shots. And if I had to look at who do I think is a better power puncher between Shadesha Green and Clarissa Shields? Clarissa Shields has 3 knockouts. 3 knockouts. Right? So I'm not expecting her to go in there and knock out this girl, but that girl can box, bro. I mean, Clarissa Shields, she can box too. She might be too big for the girl. Maybe Clarissa's
Same weight class, ain't they?
nah. Nah, they're not in this. I think Clarissa's a super heavyweight than them girls. I don't think Shadesha Green is in and Clarissa Shields weight division because Green
I
got.
think they are because they were supposed to fight next.
They can't be. They were gonna fight at another weight because Shadesha Green lost her belts to that girl. How could Shadesha Green have belts if Clarissa Shields has all the belts?
True.
You see, they gotta be in 2 separate weight divisions. It was that Shadesha was gonna go up to fight Clarissa Shields, and she fucked up by losing. It's kind of like Ryan Garcia losing to Rolly. He was supposed to fight Devin at a higher weight. She fucked up. She dropped the bag. But that other girl, the reason why I say she might give Clarissa Shields some problems, I think her foot movement might give Clarissa Shields. Remember that she was Latin. I forget if she was Puerto Rican, Brazilian, what she was. And she's the one that dropped Clarissa Shields, and Clarissa Shields watched her gum shield roll in the ring. Remember that? When Clarissa Shields, she had the blue braids in, and she dropped Clarissa Shields. And she just dropped like this. And her mouth guard hit the floor and literally was rolling. And the cameras caught Clarissa's eyes watching her gum shield roll on the floor like that. She couldn't believe she was on the ground. And that girl had a lot of movement. And she was cutting angles and she caught Clarissa Shields. So this girl that beat Shadesha Green, she's got good footwork and she's not scared to throw her hands. I think she might give Clarissa Shield a problem. She's a
Well,
lot better.
according to the chat, they fought already and Clarissa won.
Oh yeah, but she's a lot better now. Then I don't remember when they fought, right? Because I'm not real like into like Clarissa's, the women's thing, but I'm trying. But I do remember this. Where was I? Where was I? Where was I going with this before that? That shit
You were
threw me
saying
off.
about her the way she moves and
No, okay, the girl that fought Shadesha Green. It was just her, her angles and everything, but there was a fight I was thinking about Clarissa Shields. Let me tell you something, right? If I had to like, think about it, the girls that Clarissa Shield fought of late were big. They were big girls, right? They weren't movers. They weren't really, really good boxers. They were okay, I guess. And Clarissa still beat them. I don't know. I think that girl that Shadesha Green fought, if she gains a couple pounds, she might give Clarissa the best fight. We want somebody to step up and challenge the great Clarissa Shield, the guru of boxing, female boxing. She's the best female boxer there is right now.
you know
Clarissa.
I'm not a Clarissa Shields fan,
Me neither. I'm not that
but
much of a fan, but
but
you got to give her respect.
but her past, I would say 4 fights, I think she stops Lanny Daniels based on her performance her last 4 fights.
Yeah, yeah,
Clarissa has shown she's got dog in her,
yeah.
and she'll sit there and fucking
She's a
trade
big
with you.
girl dog though. If she lands on Lanny Daniels, she's gonna knock her out, put her down. Clarissa's cracking. These girls were running from her in the ring. They didn't want to engage. When Clarissa got mad in the ring that she would start letting go, the girl was like, she was like, this feels like a man hitting me. And I'm surprised she doesn't have more knockouts, but it's because you watch a lot of Clarissa's fights and you notice these girls are not so willing to always engage with her. There was a couple of them that did. There was this white girl. I forget what she was banging with Clarissa. Clarissa had her all beat up and shit, but I forgot what fight that was. I've seen actually, I think I've seen more Clarissa fights than I actually care to like. I think I have actually. I'm starting to like remember all these fights with Clarissa Shield in my head. But we need somebody to step up to give her a challenge. If she keeps walking through these, they're never going to give her the credit she deserves. Because they're going to say, yo, you were too many levels ahead of all these girls. So I'm hoping somebody comes out and brings out the best of Clarissa Shields so that she can shut up all these doubters. And we need a tough girl. You need that rivalry. Talk that other girl up. You know what I'm saying? And try to get, oh shit, wait a minute. This girl might be Clarissa. Clarissa go in there and fuck her up. You know what I'm saying? But we need that for her. Because if we don't talk up any more of these women, she's not going to have no one to fight. So I'm going to take the other side just because she needs that other person. She needs a dancing partner. So I'm going to talk up the other girl. And I'm going to say that she's going to be the one once again to re-challenge Clarissa. If that's right, that's the girl that she fought.
So I just looked it up. It was 2 fights ago
It
that she
actually
fought
was
Lanny
like,
Daniels. Yeah,
damn, she
literally
beat
two
her.
fights ago.
She beat her two
UD
fights. Damn,
by
two.
UD.
That's two by UD.
Yep. Clarissa beat Lanny Daniels 2 fights ago.
I gotta go back and watch that fight just to be reminded of it. I know I must have seen it.
So her last fight was against Dezern,
Yeah,
Francone Cruz Dezern, and
that's the
then
girl.
before that, she fought Lanny Daniels.
That was the girl with the braids that she almost short circuit her motherboard when Clarissa Shields hit her, and she went poof. She was a big chick. She was bigger than Clarissa. She had the braids. That's her.
I
The one before Lanny Daniels.
before. Hold on, let me check real quick. The one before was Daniel Perkins. She was 5-0.
Yeah, I think that's who was her.
Yeah, she was a morena with braids.
Yeah, that was her. That's the one that she short her motherboard. Those are some big girls. Don't be fooled. Those girls were big, man. So Clarissa got, I think it's crazy that she doesn't have a lot more knockouts. But hey, that's boxing. Some of these girls are able to take that punishment. You got some tough competitors here,
Yeah.
but
Shout out to George in the building.
we need somebody for Clarissa. I don't know who. I'm not as fluent with the women's divisions and all the women down there, but shout out to them girls. They're down there doing their thing, man. I was pretty impressed with the girls that have fought and shit. Even that girl on the Ben Whitaker fight card. There was a girl, you might not know of her. She used to hang around with Patty Pimblett all the time. They used to call her like, I forget what her name was. She had like a weird, quirky kind of name. She used to fight in the UFC. She lost like her last 3 fights or 2 fights it was, or some shit like that in the UFC. They gave her big moments and opportunities. So she transitioned over into boxing. Boy, I gotta tell you, she looked way better as a boxer than she did as a UFC mixed martial artist. She did. And I was impressed. I was like, damn, girl, you might have been doing the wrong sport this whole time. You might have wasted your time in that UFC shit all those years. You should have been a female boxer. If you're fighting like that right now, like she did her thing, man. Shouts out to the Brits.
Hey, speaking of Ben Whitaker, what you thought about his performance?
Ben Whitaker, controversy, yes. Performance wise, he did what he had to do. But I didn't like one thing. And when they do this, my spider boxing senses go off. When boxing does this, okay? This is what happened in the Ben Whitaker fight. If you didn't watch it or if you missed it, let me show you what really happened. They started talking about a controversial punch behind the head, right? But what happened was when he knocked the dude down and knocked him out, they went back to the instant replay. Shout out to the Brits for knowing how to cheat properly, right? The Brits turn around and they keep showing on the highlight reel the shot that he punched him right above the ear, right here. And they were saying that shot was not a foul, that it was not behind the head. And they had everybody in the chat, everybody at home arguing that shot. But this is where the Brits know how to do their due diligence to protect their star. That was not the punch that was in question. What they showed you was the finishing 2 punches. The one that hit him right here. Then they were acting like that was the punch that the guy was complaining about, when that's not what happened. Go back and watch the fight. Just leading into that, the guy bends down and Ben Whitaker hits him right behind the head, like right here. The guy signals to the referee. He hit me right here behind the ref. The guy got staggered by that shot. Ben Whitaker attacked him, hit him to the body, then came up and he gave him the 2-piece and finished him. Then when the other corner ran back and started pointing at the monitor saying, yo, he clipped him behind the head, the British people that had control of the instant replay, they showed the other punch. And they try to sell it to you like that was the punch they were talking about. That's what fucked up Ben Whitaker's performance for me. When I think that you're trying to hide something, you're trying to hide a foul, why were you scared to show it? Right? So that took me back. As far as Ben Whitaker as a warrior, he did his job. It's not Ben Whitaker's job to. The referee never halted the action. Did the referee say stop? No. Did the referee say any foul? No. That's not my job to be a referee, Ben Whitaker. My job is to finish you. And when he saw the guy hurt, hey, look, however you take it as a fan, was it a foul play? Did Ben Whitaker do what he had to do? That would be for you. Did you like enough to be a fan of Ben Whitaker? Are you taking him more seriously than all the antics he was known for? Now, the real winner here in this situation, in Ben Whitaker's fight, wasn't Ben Whitaker. The real like award I want to give to is to fucking Ed Hearn. Yo, that motherfucker is a promoter and a half. Did you see how he took Ben Whitaker's quirky, arrogant self when he was talking about trying to be funny with the British people? The crowd wasn't cheering or laughing that strong for him, while Whitaker was himself talking. Ed Hearn, the fucking hustler that he is, the gift of gab that he has, Ed Hearn, he took all his quirkiness and he said, don't be, and he dressed it up and he had the entire crowd cheering. Ed Hearn did that. That's real promoter shit. Your promoter's not standing behind you, being in the ring, trying to get a photo op or get more recognition for himself. Your promoter is actually promoting you as a fighter. That's how Ed Hearn got Conor Benn to where he's at. And then Conor Benn stabbed him in the back and went with Dana White. And I told you guys, Ed Hearn made Conor Benn, just like he's making Ben Whitaker. Now, the fighter got to do their part in the ring. You got to look kind of spectacular, do what you got to do, and Ed Hearn will do the promoting part.
Yo, Ben. If Ben Whitaker was from Puerto Rico, he'd be your GOAT. Says we fight all night.
Listen, let me tell you, Ben Whitaker right now is where he's at in star status because of that man Ed Hearn. He is a genius promoter. And Ben Whitaker himself, as far as his boxing goes, okay. I'm not gonna get my panties in a bunch and say the guy's fucking no, right? There's fighters like Najee Lopez that's around in the division, and Najee Lopez fucking had a banger his last fight. His warrior credibility was tested. That fucking check mark went ting ting. Has Ben Whitaker been in a fight like that? I believe the first time he got in a dog fight, he basically checked out. Didn't he flip over the ring? Didn't he flip? And they proved that Ben Whitaker grabbed the guy and intentionally took him over with him because he was losing in the fight. So when he was battle tested, he checked out. But when Najee Lopez was dropped, cut, down on some scorecards, he came back like a dog. All right? So, no, if Ben Whitaker was Puerto Rican, he wouldn't be our star when there's fighters like Najee Lopez there. Unfortunately. Okay? So, I'm not going to get crazy and say that Ben Whitaker is the best up there. Not just yet. But what I will say, y'all motherfuckers better not sleep on that dude, Ben Whitaker. The rest of the division, that goes out to the rest of the division. This guy's getting better. This guy is getting better. And it looks like pretty fast. He corrected a few mistakes already in one fight that I saw. His defense was a lot better. He wasn't playing around, laggy gagging. He was more focused. He had that killer instinct. The rest of the division better not sleep on fucking Ben Whitaker. He's Ed Hearn knows how to manage his fighter, and if you guys are not careful, he'll beat all of you guys to a world title fight and become a champion before any of you guys that are in the running with him, not already champions. He's got the star status, the charisma. Ben Whitaker, I was on a little reserved to see if he was more showboat than fighter. It looks like he's starting to be a fighter. You guys, they better not. You look, I'm starting to like him more, but you know, you guys know how I am. Round one, I'm always from the show me state. You're gonna have to show me first. I'm not gonna get and take off my panties and throw him in a ring for that guy he beat. No, pump your brakes. No, he's gonna have to do a little more to be that kind of guy. But you guys got one, the British. You guys got one. He's looking good right now. He's looking good.
Yeah, Bull
Keep
Rider
it going.
says.
Let's see where this goes.
Bull Rider says news has it Shakur versus Tank is made. I don't know if that's true or not. That's what Bull Rider's saying. Those behind the ear shots make you drunk. Dalton Smith did the same to Matthias, says Mo Brains. Bull Rider says 420 is not your friend, round one. Max says shout out to UK. Melasa is in the building. He says, what's up, guys? They gave free tickets to fill up the place.
Probably did.
Liverpool are a bunch of fools. Liverpool is where all the trash of England live.
Oh, stop it.
We fight all night, says, laugh my ass off. Eddie Hearn did not make Conor Ben. You bugging.
Stop. Ed Hearn made Conor Ben every bit of the star that he is. Without Ed Hearn, Conor Ben doesn't put that fight against Chris Eubank. Who do you think talked the people to put up the money for that fight? Ed Hearn. Ed Hearn had to go back there with all the suits and ties and dress this up as a family rivalry with no world title on the line. The Brits ate that up because the Brits love a fight. You say anywhere out there, hey, there's a fight on that street corner, they're gonna go watch it. Okay? That's all they do. They wake up in the morning, stretch, fight each other, go to school and work, fight each other there, go out, go to a bar to get drunk to fight each other, and then to go watch soccer while fighting in the arena, go home and fight to go to sleep. That's all they do. That's all they do. So, like, for you, like, it's a bit different, you know, when it comes like to American promoting and they're kind of promoting. Ed Hearn is a genius. He really is. Sometimes you won't recognize a person's genius when it's right in front of you. It can look stupid to you. Case in point. I didn't even notice that light was on him like that. Floyd Mayweather. When everybody first was watching Floyd Mayweather make his rise in boxing, a lot of people were turned off by the fact that he was real flamboyant. He used to throw money, always look at me, bling, bling. Floyd, he was real in your face. And whether you loved or hated him, some people paid they wanted to see him get his ass kicked. They wanted Floyd to be humbled. Some people were real mad with his cocky, arrogant, American, brash ways. Right? When Floyd Mayweather retired, did people come to realize Floyd's not like that? When he's by, like, no fight scheduled, no jewelry, maybe a nice fancy watch, you know, real expensive type shit, and some great clothes because he's always in some fly shit. But you notice that was a persona, and he fooled everybody. When HBO Sports was covering Floyd Mayweather and TMZ saw him in the nightclub throwing money, it let the guy he was fighting, look, Floyd is not taking the fight serious. Look, Floyd is fucking around. He's in nightclubs. He was in there 30 minutes, letting them take their pictures, ran out the back door, put on his jogging shoes, and kept jogging. Floyd understood the value of mental warfare in boxing. So sometimes when you see things, you might not see a person's genius. I didn't recognize what Floyd was doing in the moment until years later. Then I was like, this smart motherfucker. Look what else Floyd did. Floyd went and took Tank Davis and made him believe, yo, belt ain't shit, Tank. You don't need to fight for a belt or pay sanctioning fees. I'll get you these big fights. Belt ain't shit. Once fighters like Floyd started saying that, well said from a guy that got like 27 world title belts. And one of your belts, that Conor McGregor belt that the WBC made, is solid gold. It's worth over $1 million. They showed the designing and how they built it and all the diamonds and rubies they used in it. Well said from the man that has the most expensive belt in all of boxing, that was hosted in a professional boxing match. So that belt counts. You have a belt valued over $1 million, and you went and told Tank Davis that belts don't matter? I didn't understand what he was doing. What a fucking genius boss move that was by Floyd. Why? If I can convince the next hot thing that belts don't matter, he'll never break any of my records. I'll make all the money I want off of him, his star status, but my records will live on forever. If I control the fighters that I think that are the closest or have the best talent from the beginning and I catch them young, he'll never break my records. Floyd had everybody believing that the O is the most important. I retired 50-0. By doing that, these guys will never want to take the risk to fighting the big fights. They'll never have world title fights, and they'll never have legacy and their fighter's name on their resume to argue against Floyd's. This motherfucker is a genius. Floyd. He is a real genius. The shit that he did, the moves that he made, bro, it would take a fucking room of fucking people to come up with this shit, to try to execute it. This man sat there and went, bro, it was more effective than the Ebola virus. What Floyd, belts ain't shit. That spread across the entire boxing world. How powerful is, man, listen, that man is a genius. Protect all his records. Protect his integrity Floyd loves to walk in a room and be viewed as the man. He look at his lifestyle. He can't stop. Even all the rumors of him going bankruptcy, broke, everything. Right now, Floyd's out there probably buying some fucking Louis Vuitton bag, another watch, and another car. He can't. His ego is so fucking big that if somebody was to pass him, fight the most champions, beat Floyd's records, that would crush him. He did everything possible to keep his record, his image, and his persona up, even when he's drowning. You got to think like a man like that. Yo, he was fucking brilliant, bro. He was just brilliant. I've never met a boxer. And then dumb in other things, and fucking other endeavors. I'm not going to say that Floyd was the best businessman or made the right best decisions in his life. No, that's a separate conversation. He did a lot of fucked up, shit and whatever. But when it comes to boxing, keeping the conversation right there, What did he do when it comes to boxing itself? And in every part of his career, I'm telling you, Floyd did the fucking neck. Not only did he do the next best thing, it was like, you know how when like in the Family Feud, they say, we asked 100 people this question, blah, blah, blah. And if you guess, you can guess multiple answers, but there'll be a top answer that has like the most percentage of people that agreed to that one answer. Every move Floyd made in boxing was like the number one thing to do. It was like bing, 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 bing. Bro, it was ridiculous. Ridiculous. He was just really smart when it took me years to figure out what the fuck he was doing. That's when you know, like, he was a step ahead of all of us. I thought the man was full of shit when he's fighting some of these fights. I was like, oh, look at Floyd. He's with the holes and shit, more gold. He's about to get knocked out. That man was dedicated. Like, it was insane. Like, and then to hear all these stories and to hear the fighters talk about him, that's why some of these guys like Ed Hearn, what he was doing, I recognize Ed Hearn's genius. I recognize now and I see Conor Benn would have never been that star. Never, no fucking way. No, there's no way. Who did Conor Benn fight to deserve that? Your promoter made you. Your promoter made that event big. Your promoter got the investors to invest in it. Your promoter gave away 500 free tickets to make that look filled. He did everything right. Ed Hearn did that for you. Even when the ticket sales weren't great, Ed Hearn got the rest of the people to fill it up. It's what you see. You don't see Ed Hearn's genius because you're only viewing the fighter. When I'm viewing boxing, I start to want to know like the bosses and shit. And I start to think about the details that needs to go into preparing a fight. It's fucking a lot of work, bro. When you start like getting behind the scene and meeting this dude, oh, you're this guy from here, this network, and this fucking streaming thing, and now you start to realize, shit, these fights are a little bit harder to put together than I thought. It's not like we got a deal. No, man. No, nah. Oh, yo, Frontline.
Yo,
You still there?
you know, you long-winded sometimes, so I gotta
Yo,
just
I
let
get
you
long
go.
winded, bro. I'm sorry. Catch up on the
Nah, it's
chat
all
as
good.
well.
Melassa says, I like Ben Whitaker, don't get me wrong. George says, we made that UK take a knee. We
Oh,
fight all night, says Eddie is a genius. Question, laugh my ass off. Ben Whitaker need to fight guys like Morrell. Cesar says this Ben's first fight with Eddie before he was he was Ben Shalom.
yeah. But Eddie's gonna look how all of a sudden Eddie lost Conor Benn, right? Now, one fight, Ben Whitaker's the next best thing since sliced bread. You heard him talking? I'm so proud to have you on our team. Yo, like he laid it on thick.
He
And
gassing.
what did he say? What did he say? You're the next British star. You. Like, yo, Ed Hearn,
Yeah.
he's something else.
Richard says, saludos campeones, round one. Cesar says, Najee Lopez is a dog.
A
George says,
dog.
Zaya's team need to get back at Eddie for that Matias glove change and make Ennis shave that cushioned beard. Mo Brains says, hard to tell where Whitaker is. Need more rounds.
Yeah.
Max says he's supposed to be on Boots versus Zaya's card.
Yes, he is. That they announced it right after this fight. Ed Hearn and him was talking about it, right?
Yep. Melasa says 420 celebration.
Celebration.
Melasa
Tomorrow is
says,
420.
without Eddie Hearn, Conor Ben is no one. Edwin, you know I can't stand the Brits. Laughing emoji from Melasa. Ben Whitaker versus Morrell says Richard. Melasa says the man holding the belt and defending a O, but belts don't matter. Laughing emoji.
Right? Right?
Mo says Floyd bankrupt and buying purses. Laughing emoji.
Right?
Jason,
Bankrupting can't stop.
Floyd should be 49-0. Conor McGregor wasn't a boxer and it wasn't
Say
ranked.
that, brother. Say that.
Richard says Ben Whitaker is another Nassim Hamed.
I'm not sure if he's up there yet, but because Nassim Ahmed was a big star, man. He was doing his thing. I
That's the
mean, Ben,
Prince, right? Is
yeah,
that who Prince Hamed, right? That was him, right? The Prince?
yeah, the one that used to come out with the tiger stripe. I mean, the
Yeah,
leopard punt.
flashy as hell.
Yeah, he used to do like a flip in the ring,
Yeah.
and then Barrera, fucking dog checked him.
Yeah, stopped him. He made him do the stinky leg. And then Misa says, love your content, my guy. By the way, keep it up.
Thank you.
All caught up. But yo, let's get back to that Sufa topic real quick.
What do you want to talk
Um
about?
Belanga's interview with Probox and Chris Algeri and Paulie Malignani, whatever
Yeah,
he mentioned something in it that was kind of key. Meaning, you know how Sufa within itself doesn't have the junior or the super weight classes.
right.
Apparently, according to what Edgar Belanga said on that interview, is that there's two tiers or two sides to Sufa. You got the
Right.
Sufa, whatchamacallit, and then you got Sufa, the promotional company, where they're allowed to fight outside of Sufa and fight for the actual belts.
Which
Hector's little butthurt. He said, "Bad podcasting, eating on air. I'm out later."
bad because you eat peanuts. What? You know how many people eat on air? Wow, that guy's crazy. Anyway, check this out, right? That sheds light on a lot of super questions that most of us had. Some of us were asking the question, how did you pay Connor Ben to fight in Sufa when he never represented in Sufa? He never actually fought in there with their rules of having the same color trunks on under their banner. And a lot of us, we were like, yo, what's going on here? Is he fighting for Sufa or is he not? So when Edgar Berlanga came out and said that, and Edgar Berlanga was like, look, there's two tiers in Sufa, where that Sufa will allow you to fight for the belts, the alphabet belts, and you can still be signed to them. And they will be your promoter and they will organize the belts if you shall choose that path. And in that sense, you don't got to wear the Sufa uniform. You don't have to fight in their ring. But if you choose to fight for the Sufa belt and you want to go that route, well, then you're going to have to obey by all the Sufa rules. And then you're going to have to fight in their weight divisions. So, for the viewers at home that were wondering, could Richard Hitchens defend his title while signed at Sufa and they didn't have a weight limit for his title? Because it goes 135 to 147. He's at 140 champion. So to the question of the fact, was Richard Hitchens going to be stripped of that belt because he couldn't fight under the Sufa belts? Well, that's not so. According to the interview that Edgar Berlanga and Richard Hitchens had to decide He has decisions to make whether or not he's going to choose the super belt route or to stay active in the alphabet route. But both ways, Sufa would be his promoter.
Right, but now that goes back to the question: what that I mean, not the question, but it's kind of making sense now. Jayo Pataya fought for the Sufa belt.
See, what happened was Jayo Pataya chose to go the Sufa route. And by doing so, that's where the alphabet belts stop. They'll do business with Sufa. But like I said, you got to understand that probably some of these wordings and some of these contracts, both these guys are trying to get up on one on each other. Meaning, Sufa's agenda was to get their Sufa belt in the ring with the Alphabet Boys. Behind the scenes, that was the main objective for Sufa. Because on that night, if the Alphabet Boys, the IBF, allow that to happen, when you see them in the ring raised up, that gives Sufa belt life. It will stamp that belt as a championship because the champion himself is raising two belts, declaring them as world title fight belts. So Sufa needed to get in bed with the alphabet belts while saying they ain't shit. They had to convince them. So what they did was they didn't lie to Jaya Pataya, but they probably didn't help him. They needed to convince Jai that he could still defend his belt, but fight for Sufa. What Sufa did not tell him that under their rule structure, they, the IBF wasn't going to get in bed with them.
Well,
And then
Cesar makes a good point here. He says Sufa is capped. The Ali Amendment hasn't been passed yet, so they have to pretend to be a regular promoter for now.
For now, play nice. Thank you. Who said that? Cesar. Yo, thank you, brother. Listen, man, that's why I'm reserved with Sufa. I'm not here to shit on them. No, you might think so. I'm making fun of their belt, this and that, and it might seem that way. But if you stick around long enough to hear me talk, I want to see what their product is. But what you're not going to do is you're not going to use my belts to try to get your belt the status you need while saying to my belts, fuck you. That's what you're doing. So I'm like, if you claim not to need our help, then don't use us. But also don't say fuck you to our legends. Because when I hear that, I hear Muhammad Ali's belt ain't shit.
Hey, Mick says,
that's what I hear.
The belt. Mick says, show us the belt. One of your members wants you to show the Sufa.
There will be no showing of the Sufa belt unless a super chat is put in the... That's it. No, that's it. You guys are getting free looks.
Whoa. He's a member, though. Mick's a member.
Mick's a member?
Mick's a round one member.
You had to get me with that one, right?
I think he gets this. I mean, if he wants to put some color in the chat, it'll be
members get a shot at the belt, especially Mick. Why didn't you say it was Mick?
Hey, before you show the belt, hold on. Carl says, "Where's Ness to verify this?"
Verify what?
Exactly. We don't need Ness over here. He's got his own platform.
Anyway, check this out. This is for my boy Mark.
No,
he
Mick.
Said, Mick, I'm sorry, Mick. I'm bad with names. Mick said he ordered the Sufa belt for his girl on Valentine's Day, and I'm telling him it has arrived. Mick, from me to you, tell wifey the belt has arrived. Hey yo!
Hey, how can you win that belt, Edwin? How can you win that belt? Who you got to fight to win that belt?
listen. You look. It has to be sponsors by Campbell's Soup. You know what I'm saying? Because we fight tomato cans. You know what I'm saying? And Bumblebee tuna cans. And this is a real hubcap right here. This is the real deal. So when you're walking around, and they say, "Hey, is that belt a hubcap?" You proudly say, "You're damn right it is." You know what I mean? But Mick, keep it away from stock chasers because he's from New York and they like stealing hubcaps out there. You know what I'm saying? Keep it away from him. I'm trying to tell you, the hubcap will be gone. It'll be a floating Sufa sign. You know what I'm saying? But yo, there it is, Mick. I made it. My very own Sufa belt. We should put it up somewhere, right?
How?
Should put it up somewhere.
Yo,
Motherfuckers
you ain't
say my belts ain't shit. Huh? Nah, your belt ain't shit. Fucking hubcap. Talk about
Make says
that
thank
shit.
you,
That shit.
brother.
It burned in my head like a fucking. When I heard Dana White say, "We're not gonna acknowledge their belts," I was just inside my head just went. I
Hey,
was like, "What you just say?"
and for you guys not knowing about this, Edwin and I in the group chat been talking about this for a long time. We got to come up with something creative.
Yeah,
And me and Edwin started talking behind the scenes. I gave him an idea, and he told me if I'm gonna do something, I'm going all out. I was thinking something totally different. Just
I told you I was gonna make something nice.
and Edwin went on a mission. He
I
got
went.
on his little e-bike
You're damn right. I did.
every day for like about a week.
Yes, I did. I went
For
out there
about
looking on the side of the road for hubcaps, and I would call Frontline. I would videotape it. I was out on the road. We were looking we found hubcaps, but they were so fucking big. We were like, nah, we can't do that. So I gotta, a matter of fact, I gotta send a shout out to my boy down in the scrapyard that hooked me up with that hubcap right there. That was perfect. It's like a fucking 1920 lawnmower hubcap. When they made small hubcaps for lawnmowers, once I seen the hubcap and he had it like as a decoration in his thing. We looked for hubcaps all over that junkyard. He looked at me. He was like, "You want that one?" I was like, "Man, that shit is perfect." He took it off his wall, gave it to me so I can make this belt, man. So shout out to him. And man, and it just came together. You know what I'm saying? It was just like destiny. My man next door, he had a black can of spray paint and a gray one. Gave me both of them. I was like, shh, yo. And the idea was history. And then, of course, round one's creative ability. As you can see, I'm a bit of a decorator. And it just came to life. It just came to life. And now, stock chasers and I'm just a guy are about to fight for this belt in some grocery parking lots, sponsored by Campbell's, of course. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna have our first Zuffa champion.
Yo,
Stock
fucking
chasers, you gotta
Mick,
win, bro. You know what I mean?
it, wait, where was it? Right here. Cesar says the Senate is having hearings next week, and De La Hoya is going to be there in DC to testify. Mo Brains says, don't you read that last comment. Don't you read it, because I'm gonna get to it.
All right.
Mo Brains says Benavides has an easy route to undisputed now. Says Mo Brains. Malasa says take a minute in Congress to pass the amendment. With this lazy House of Representative we have today, they will take 2 to 3 to pass if it passes. Mick says thank you, brother, with the crying emoji. Chris crying emoji. Malasa for real, Edwin laughing emoji. Mick you, my man, Edwin. Hope all is good. Shout out Frontline. Mo Brain says, "Oh shit!" Laughing emoji. Melassa says, "Put it inside the trash can." Bull Rider says, "Hubcap belt at best, dusty too." Mick says, "Have someone." Hey, someone stole my hubcaps. Laughing emoji.
Yo, I don't know what you're talking about, Mick. I don't know anything about hubcaps. Go, guys, run.
George laughing emoji. I'm gonna skip JC for a second. I'm gonna get back to JC. Mick Doonan says more Sufa belts available for your girls February 14th pre-order now. Laughing emoji. Melasa, frontline. That's why you wasn't talking to me because you are talking to Edwin. Now I'm jealous. Laughing emoji. Max says LOL. Back to JC. All right, JC. I thought for the very first time in round one history, we were going to be able to get through a whole live without bringing that name in here.
Just one time, huh? In
Just
one
one
history.
time.
Well, you can't do that when his fight's that close. Come
And
on.
so wait. Let me read it. Let me read it because it's going to get you happy. And I'm sure you're going to end the live just to go look for it. Yo, Edwin, have you seen the Inoue documentary dropped yesterday on YouTube? It's in
Documentary?
Japanese though. Had to use auto captions. Translation is hit or miss, but the main points came across fine. 2 more weeks, let's fucking go.
To answer your question, no, I haven't seen it, and we're ending this live stream right now because we need. Nah,
Hey,
yeah.
or in the soup section at Food for Less, says Chris. George George says you can't take Ricans anywhere. Laughing emoji.
Yo, we live up the party. That's why. You know what I'm saying? Yo, frontline.
What?
What was he say? Mix say more Zufa belts. Oh yeah, you already read that.
Yeah. More
And
Super
then
Bells available
okay,
for your girls February 14th. Pre-order now.
pre-order now. Yo, that is awesome. Hey baby, I got a gift for you. If you really love your girl, you know what I'm saying? You want to buy her a
She's a
handmade
boxing
Zufa
junkie.
belt. You know what I'm saying? Even if she's not a boxing junkie, if she denies the gift, guess what? You take it. You know what I mean? So,
Yo, what happened? Why you can't spin the sofa thing?
what?
Why can't you can't spin the sofa thing right now?
Nah. I got stuck, but I don't want it to fall off or anything. You know what I'm saying? That it's made by quality material. You know, the best in the world is Super Belt. You know what I mean? This is the
Shit, you
best.
would think it's sponsored by Campbell Soup.
Of course, my man. Of course. This is the best aluminum foil you can find on the market. Okay? Top shelf aluminum foil. All right? So, hey, you know, it is what it is. You know, look, shout out to the winner that's willing to fight for this belt like this.
Hey, out of
Real tough
curiosity,
guys. What?
how did you attach the aluminum foil to the cardboard?
To the cardboard?
Yeah,
Come on.
how was that process? Like,
What do
what
you
was
what,
the
what are you talking about? This is American made. You know what I'm saying? In America, we
American
use
ingenuity?
we use staples. You know what I'm saying? We use staples. American ingenuity. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, but why are those cut out like an octagon? I thought they were supposed to be cut out like a ring.
Well, that is the Sufa way. You know what I'm saying? It is the Sufa way. They don't want a ring. They for some reason they think we fight in an octagon. I don't get that, but if you ask me, they should design that belt over. They should scrap that whole fucking Sufa belt and start over and
Well, the
not
good
make
thing
it
is you'll have
silver.
the OG belt though.
Nah, see, you see, Sufa's trying too hard. If you ask me, if you ask me, what they're trying to do is change the game so dramatic that they're saying, "Nah, we don't want our belt gold. We're gonna make it silver. We're gonna make it stand out. Matter of fact, it's gonna be silver. We're gonna say it's platinum so that it's better than gold." You can say that, but you were better off making the standard gold. You don't understand that gold is a universal metal that is recognized on site from gold. You got to tell people my chain's not silver, it's white gold. You got to tell them it's platinum. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't and then for competing in sports, the silver medal is viewed as second place.
and you're gonna come out and make a silver belt, you're already saying visually wise, your belt is second.
Hey, yo, Mick ain't shit.
Your belt is second place.
Wait, I'm gonna catch up to Mick real quick. Mo says
Sometimes
comes from the best jewelers money can pay for.
the best jewelers, best jewelers. You know what I'm
Melassa says,
saying?
I thought you bought it. You built that, Edwin? Question mark.
Yeah, I
He said,
built this
damn,
shit.
Edwin, if you built it, it looks awesome. Now here goes Mick. You ready for Mick's comment?
Yep.
Put it up on the screen. I'm gonna read it though, but put it up on the screen.
What you? This
Your
one?
girl might not be happy with a smelly non giving her a tuna on a belt.
Your girl, a tuna can on the belt? Yo, listen.
He said your girl might not be happy with a smelly can giving her tuna on a belt.
Yeah, that's why you don't put the can. You make these things with the you take the tuna logo off and you staple it to the gun. You know what I'm saying? I mean to the belt. But I made this out of cardboard. This is the cardboard that I made it out of. It was my compressor that I bought. I bought that compressor. That yeah, just in case my lights turn out. Round one's gonna have
Generator, not
power.
compressor.
It's generator. Did I say compressor? It's a generator. Yeah. So I bought that generator. I went downstairs, got the box, cut it out, and I spray painted this shit and drew on it and made all these white little dots on it myself, just being creative. And then I got the hubcap, got that shit on there, and then I had to cut all these letters out myself, spray paint them, then glue them onto this, spray paint that silver, and kind of make it look like their belt while I was looking at their belt while I was designing this one. But I made this shit. Like if I was a little kid in the neighborhood and I was playing wrestling and my uncle came up and gave me this belt, this would be the shit right now. And all the kids in the neighborhood couldn't touch it. I'd smack their little grimy, little dirty Cheeto hands off of it. Shh, back up, dog. Yo, I'd be outside right now as a
No me la
kid,
dañe. No me la dañe.
fucking rocking right now. My uncle made me this belt. Shh. Yo, I'd lose my mind with something like this as a kid. Hell yeah. That would be the best shit.
Melassa says you're very creative.
Thanks.
Mick says round one goes all weather conditions.
All weather conditions. Rain, sleet, no snow or shine. Round one's gonna come on the same time. Yo, I might be a poet and don't even know it. You know what I mean?
Yo, Chris says round one, you got to make another belt called the biggest duck, super undisputed duck belt. But you
We
got to
should
put a
make a
few
belt like
pictures
that.
like ducks in the pond. Maybe Daffy Duck or Donald Duck.
It'll be like the duck flu belt.
Yeah.
We could call it the world champion duck flu belt.
Yeah. Well, the IDF, the International Duck Federation.
Oh, now we getting somewhere.
The WDF, the World Duck Federation. The WBC, the WDC, the World Duck Council.
Yo, hold on.
WDO, the World Duck Organization.
Yeah, we're gonna come up with like the duck belt. So when fighters start ducking, we're gonna award them the duck belt on our show. We'll make the duck belt. I'll make another belt. And we'll get the duck belt. And every time somebody we know will vote on the show what fighter gets the duck belt.
Yeah,
and
Melassa says, yeah, the duck of the month.
Yeah, we can do something like that. We can start something like, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so the duck flu is contagious, and what was the other one?
What?
We had two. Remember we was talking that day? We were saying this dude.
The duck flu, and holy shit, what's the other one?
Well, yeah, what was the other one? Because we could combine them. We're gonna have to make.
Let me think about. Let's think about that. Mick says just trademark the Hubcap World Championship, sponsored by Campbell's. Laughing.
Yo, I could
who
do
wins
that,
the
but
duck title every? Who wins the duck title every month? Says Melassa. Well, Mick already has the first duck champion. He says Devin Duck and Rowley or Dana Duck and Hearn. Biggest duck this year.
I'm not sure about that because Richard Hitchens ducked Oscar Duarte on the scale.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not a duck. I don't know what is.
All right. So I think that's a bigger duck. And
I
that's
think
a
that's the
real
duck of
one
the year.
because see, Rowley's and Devon's was a rumored duck. They never actually got to the point where they got to the fight. Richard Hitchens' duck, if you ask me, was way bigger than Devon's. I would like to know what you guys think about it. Am I right or not? So I think he would get the duck belt right now for that shit.
Yeah, I
Actually,
think Hitchens. I think Hitchens is duck of the year with that one.
I think that's a bigger duck, bro. My
No,
personal
that's duck of the
opinion. Bro,
year.
you made both weights. We were there. I took my time to pay my coaches and everything to prepare for this fight, and hours before the fight. Come on,
Travel to
bro.
the fight, stay in a
That can't be a
hotel for
bigger
the
duck
fight.
than yeah. Like okay, the Schofield when he dug Shakur Stevenson and jumped on a plane type shit. That kind of duck was big, and those were real ducks because you actually had a fight. But Devon's and Rowley's, it was, they were negotiating a little bit, but we never got to that line. And sometimes that's what ducking is all about, that we don't even get into. I'm just straight up ducking you. That's, I could see that too as I talk. So, yeah. But
Mick says, yeah, Hitchens is gonna win every month.
he's going to win every month.
I think he's got duck of the year. Duck of
Yeah,
the year.
man. Yeah, thank you, Mick. Like, I just thought that he was. Ugh, that's a bad look, guys. That is a bad look. And what do you guys like about this? Albright versus Keyshawn Davis.
Unfinished business.
I like it. There you go. I like it. I like it. I like it. Before I shared mine, I want to hear, Frontline or any of you guys on it. It's you beat my brother. My first fight with you got pulled off on a no contest because I smoked some weed. Keyshawn feels like he beat him, and rightfully so, he did. Albright did land a good shot in that fight. It was visible. Keyshawn was buzzed a little in that fight with Albright, so it adds to the fight. They're gonna relive the altercation with Keyshawn Davis, his brothers, entering Albright's dressing room and assaulting him allegedly. I
Yo, this
wasn't there.
chat is giving you ideas, Edwin.
Like what? What's up?
Naldo says, then what you should do is the future duck of shame.
The future duck of shame. We'll have a duck of shame. I like
Yo.
it. I like it. I like it.
Damn, a kid shot dead in Louisiana. R.I.P. says Mick.
Damn. Yo, my boy, I don't want to say his name unless he wants to share it or anything, but me and Frontline know of our friend yesterday that lives in a building that a 16-year-old kid was killed outside of his house. And just yesterday. And me and Frontline were on the phone with our friend. I don't want to say who he is. That would be up to him. I respect everybody's privacy. I never asked him permission to say anything about him, so I'm going to keep that, But one of our friends, while me and Frontline were talking on the phone, he was telling us how the detectives were outside in the yellow tape, and he was like, man, I never seen so much blood on the concrete, and this is a shame, man. I told him he said one kid was killed, and I said, well,
16 years old.
2 kids died on that night, and two mothers just lost their sons. And he said, how's that, round one? And I said, because the kid that died, that mother lost her son, and the kid that's going to give the life sentence for killing him, that mother's about to lose her son. He's going to get sent to prison for the rest of his life, and that one, both the mothers lost their sons on that moment when that bullet came out of that gun for whatever reason.
Well,
And
if
it's
it's
just,
street beef, it's gonna go either two ways. The kid gets caught, does life in prison, or retaliation will get him killed on the streets. It's
yeah,
sad, but
it's a dead end street.
yep.
And as we know, as we get older, we see that, but we see the carnage that was left behind. And the problem looks so big, not one, just one of us or many of us don't seem like we can talk to these kids enough. The system was put in place and it's on full roll. And these kids are out there yelling and wanting to shoot each other. Their whole concept of the way of the Y ends today, this is what they preach. They preach get money, have sex with women, shoot people, shoot the ops. Okay. All that's going to lead you is either dead or in jail. You don't make profits off shooting the ops. They don't pay you for that. So what are you left with? You're not going to have a 9 to 5 shooting the ops, so you're going to sell drugs. Where does that lead you to? Either somebody comes and robs you for your drugs or you get caught with your drugs. It's all designed to go to the same way. And just like I broke that down, I feel like it's pointless to say because we'll never save these kids. They're too much into the fact that don't you see that your kids are growing up thinking that all of a sudden there's a war outside? Who's creating the war? Them. They're the ones that are saying that my neighborhood is better than yours or my gang and this and that. They don't understand that the very war that they're fighting against is themselves. They're literally like dogs chasing their tail and they're allowing them to kill and diminish themselves. And one more thing I would like to share with you before we leave here at Round One Sports Talk and I close this up. I've never been in an era in my life, my short life so far on this planet, I never witnessed a time where that the kids of today's standard, they live by disrespecting their mother and their father. They're willing to fight their father or smack their mother today. This
Hey, how you doing? Your shit froze. I don't know if you hear me, but whatever. Hey, Pug. After Albright, all opponents 140, 147. Welcome to the scope. We'll take Tito Mercado, Matias Crocker, Andy Cruz. If Tio stock dropped that much, he can fight in Norfolk. We want them all in Norfolk. I don't think Keyshawn's ready for that smoke, especially not with no Matias. Um,
Yo, we back. But I'm gonna end this anyway before I think the conspiracy theories they turn me off again. Somehow, in the middle of my chat of preaching educational shit to our children, somehow my stream got cut off. But anyway, fight fans, thank you for tuning in. Please, if you like the video, give the videos a like, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and like always, I'm on to the next one after this one here at Round One Sports Talk. You guys have been amazing. Have a good night. Peace. I can hear you on my phone echoing. Yo, it won't let me log out now, guys. Here we go.